Picture two people, total strangers, but they've got one big thing in common. They're both 25. Person A, they start tucking away $200 a month into a savings account. They don't overthink it, don't read 12 articles about it, they just let it sit. Then there's person B. They're not saving anything yet. Instead, they're carrying a $3,000 balance on a credit card, and every month they pay the minimum, telling themselves they'll properly deal with it when things calm down. Now, blink. Fast forward 30 years. Person A is sitting on over $200,000, and person B, they are still paying off that original $3,000. In fact, they've paid nearly double that amount just in interest alone. Same 30 years, same amount of time, but two completely different financial lives. The only real difference? Which side of compound interest they were standing on. In our last video, we broke down simple interest, basically the price you pay to rent money. If you missed it, the link is in the description. Go watch it first, then come right back. Today, we go deeper. We're talking about compound interest, the quiet force that built person A's fortune, the same force that quietly drained person B dry. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side of it you're on right now and what you can actually do about it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first principles. No jargon, I promise. You already know what simple interest is, even if you've never called it that. You borrow $1,000 at 10% a year. Every year, you owe $100 in interest. Same number every time. Flat, predictable, boring. Compound interest is different, and the whole difference comes down to one word: reinvestment. See, with compound interest, your earnings don't just sit in a corner doing nothing. They get folded back into the pile. So next time, you aren't just earning interest on your original $1,000. You're earning interest on that $1,000, plus the interest you already made. Interest on interest. That's the whole secret. That's the whole thing. Let me make it concrete. You drop $1,000 into an account earning 10% a year. Year 1, you earn $100. Balance, $1,100. Year 2, 10% of $1,100, not $1,000. You earn $110. Balance, $1,210. Year 3, 10% of $1,210. You earn $121. Balance, $1,331. See it? You're earning more every single year, and you never added a single extra dollar. The money is literally feeding itself. That's the image. Small push at the top, almost boring in the middle. Then somewhere down the hill, it gets so big, it barely needs your help anymore. That's compound interest. The first few years feel like nothing, but give it enough time, and it becomes something you can barely believe. Compound interest is interest on interest. Your money grows on its own previous growth, small at first, unstoppable over time. Okay, here's something that sounds like a magic trick, but it's not. It's pure math. There is one number, just one, that tells you exactly how fast your money will double. No calculator, no spreadsheet, just one number you can keep in your head. And once you know it, you will never look at an interest rate the same way again. Okay, I want to give you a cheat code. No spreadsheets, no calculators, just one number to keep in your head: 72. Here's how it works. Take 72. Divide it by your interest rate. That answer tells you roughly how many years it takes to double your money. Savings account at 6%, 72 divided by 6 is 12. Your money doubles in about 12 years. What about 8%? 9 years to double. Nice. What about 1%? Which is basically what most big banks are offering you on a regular checking account right now. 72 divided by 1 is 72. Your money doubles in 72 years, by which point inflation has probably eaten most of the gain anyway. So basically, nowhere. This is why where you keep your money matters so much. A 1% account and a 6% investment account sound like a small difference, but the rule of 72 shows you the truth. One doubles your money in 12 years. The other takes 72. Same dollar. 60 years of difference. And here's the part that makes people squirm a little. The rule of 72 works on debt too. Credit card at 24% interest, 72 divided by 24 is 3. Your debt doubles every 3 years if you're not paying it down. 3 years. That's not a slow leak. That's a burst pipe. The rule of 72 is your mental shortcut. Divide 72 by any interest rate to see how fast money doubles, whether you're earning it or owing it. We've done the math. Now let's make it feel real. Because in every compound interest story, there are two characters: the person it's working for and the person it's working against. Let's meet the person it's working for first. And I promise, by the time we're done, you're going to want to be this person. Meet Jasmine. She's 22, fresh out of college, just landed her first real job. She's not making crazy money, but she starts putting $150 a month into a Roth IRA, a tax-advantaged retirement account available to most working Americans. Her investments earn an average of 7% a year. That's a reasonable historical return for a diversified index fund, not a get-rich-quick number, a real one. She does this every month, doesn't panic when the market dips, doesn't touch it, just lets it run. At 32, 10 years in, she's contributed about $18,000 of her own money. Her balance? Around $26,000. Compound interest is already doing quiet work. At 42, 20 years in, she's put in $36,000. Her balance is is around $78,000. Compound interest has more than doubled her own contributions. At 62, 40 years in, she's contributed $72,000 total from her own pocket. Her balance? Over $380,000. She put in 72 grand. She ended up with 380. The extra $308,000? She didn't work for that. Time did. Now, here's the part that stops people in their tracks. What if Jasmine had waited just 10 years, started at 32 instead of 22? She ends up with around $190,000, not 380. That 1 decade of waiting cost her nearly $200,000, and she didn't spend it. She didn't lose it. She just waited. And the compounding clock ran without her for 10 years. This is why every financial advisor alive says the same thing. Start early. Not because they're reading from a script, because the math demands it. Time is not just helpful in compound interest. Time is the ingredient. Without enough of it, the snowball never gets going. The earlier you start, the more compound interest does the heavy lifting. Every year you wait is a year the snowball doesn't grow, and you can never get that time back. Okay, now flip everything you just felt. That same snowball, that same unstoppable momentum, that same force that turned Jasmine's consistent deposits into nearly 400 grand. Imagine it rolling the other direction, straight at you, because that's exactly what happens when compound interest switches sides, and millions of people are standing in its path right now without even realizing it. Meet Marcus. He's 28, lives in Atlanta, has a decent job, pays his bills, but he's got $4,000 sitting on a credit card at 22% interest, which, by the way, is pretty standard in America right now. Marcus isn't irresponsible. He's just busy, so he pays the minimum, around $80 a month, and tells himself he'll properly deal with it when things slow down. Here's what's actually happening while Marcus waits for things to slow down. Month 1, $4,000 balance. 22% annual interest divided by 12 months is about 1.8% per month. Interest charge this month, $73. His $80 payment wipes out most of the interest. His actual balance drops by $7 after an $80 payment. Next month, his balance is $3,993. Interest hits again. He pays $80, knocks off maybe $8 from the balance, month after month after month. Because the balance is barely dropping, the interest charge barely drops either. Paying the minimum on high-interest debt is like bailing out a sinking boat with a teaspoon. You're moving water, you're just not making progress. At this pace, Marcus takes over 20 years to pay off that $4,000, and when he finally does, he'll have paid close to $8,000 total, double what he originally spent. He paid for the same thing twice. And here's the thing, it's not because Marcus is bad with money. Compound interest does not care. It runs on math. Every month that balance sits there, interest compounds, and the minimum payment, which credit card companies deliberately set low, is barely enough to stop the balance growing, let alone shrink it. That's not an accident. Minimum payment structures are designed to keep you in debt as long as possible, because every month you carry that balance, the bank earns. That's the game. The exit is not complicated. It's not comfortable, but it's simple. Pay more than the minimum. Every extra dollar you throw at the balance is a dollar that will never have interest charged on it again. Kill it as fast as you can, because every day it lives, it grows. Minimum payments are a trap designed to keep you paying interest as long as possible. The only way out is to pay more than the minimum, consistently and aggressively, until it's gone. Here's where it gets interesting, because while everyone agrees compound interest is powerful, they do not agree on what that power means for ordinary people. Let's hear the room. The Wealth Coach. Compound interest is the great equalizer. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old, educated or not. It rewards one thing: starting. $50 a month invested at 25 becomes a life-changing number by 65. The barrier is not money, it's starting. The inequality economist. Compound interest is not a great equalizer, it's a great amplifier. It makes people who already have money accumulate more, faster. Meanwhile, people living paycheck to paycheck have nothing to invest. They're on the wrong side of compound interest through no fault of their own. The behavioral finance expert. The biggest enemy of compound interest on the positive side isn't a low rate, it's human behavior. People cash out during a market dip. They raid savings for non-emergencies. They delay starting by just a few years. Each of those decisions costs far more than they realize. The credit industry critic. The credit card industry has weaponized compound interest. They spend billions marketing minimum payments as manageable, when mathematically, they're designed to maximize the interest you pay over time. People aren't failing at personal finance. They're being played by a system that profits enormously from their confusion. 4 takes, 4 different angles on the same force. The Wealth Coach says anyone can use compound interest to build wealth. You just have to start. The inequality economist says it's not that simple. You need money to invest in the first place. The behavioral expert says our own habits are the real enemy. And the critic says the game is rigged before you even sit down. They're all seeing something real. Together, they give you the full picture. Compound interest interest is powerful, available to anyone with time and consistency, but it doesn't operate in a vacuum, and pretending the system is perfectly fair helps nobody. Compound interest is not good or bad. It's a force. Understanding it fully, including its limits and how it gets used against you, is what separates the people who benefit from it and the people who get burned. Remember person A and person B from the top? Person A put $200 a month away and left it alone. 30 years later, over $200,000. Person B carried a $3,000 credit card balance and paid the minimum. 30 years later, still paying, paid nearly double the original balance in interest alone. Same years, same time. Two completely different financial lives, built by the same force, just from opposite sides of it. Here's what we covered today. Compound interest is interest on interest. Your money grows on its own previous growth, and it snowballs harder the longer it runs. The rule of 72 is your mental shortcut. Divide 72 by any interest rate, and you instantly know how fast money doubles. On the building side, time is the actual ingredient. Small, consistent deposits turn into life-changing sums when you give them enough runway. On the burying side, minimum payments are a trap. They can cost you double what you originally borrowed. And the experts remind us, compound interest is powerful, but it doesn't live in a perfectly fair world. Understanding both sides is what actually matters. Here is the one thing I want you to walk away with today. Compound interest is already running right now in your savings account, in your investment app, on your credit card, on your student loan. It is moving in a direction. Your only job is to figure out whether you're steering it or just sitting in the back seat while it drives. If something clicked today, hit that like button. Genuinely, it helps more people find this channel, and that actually matters to us. Subscribe to Pennywise Planning. No jargon, no fluff, just money explained the way it always should have been. Straight, simple, and actually useful. And drop a comment below. Be real right now. Is compound interest building you or burying you? Let's talk about it. You'd be surprised how many people are in the exact same spot. Next up, we're going into central bank. Not the boring guilt trip kind. The kind that actually works for real people with real lives and real expenses.